Guys, Sam here, and welcome back to another episode of the Arsenal Career Mode series. I should be welcoming you to this, but technically it's the same save, and I hope you guys are happy with the decision that I have made to join Arsenal. A massive, massive decision. Honestly, I had some really good teams coming in for me at the end of last season. I was considering like a Juventus or something like that, but at the end of the day, when Arsenal came in, it just felt right. Look at this squad that they have. Look at the squad. It just felt like this was what I had to do. I had to come to Arsenal. Arsene Wenger's retired. They did not qualify for Champions League last season. They came 5th. And I'm the man. I am the man to bring them back to the Champions League. And not just in the Champions League. We're going to go far into this Champions League. Look at the squad that they have. Benzema, Ozil, Cazorla, Walcott, Coquelin, Pjanic in centre midfield there. Bellerin, Koscielny, David Luiz, Gibbs, and Cech. And you might be thinking, wow, that's really good. Look how stacked this team is. Welbeck, Chamberlain, Ramsey, Nainggolan, Monreal, Mertesacker, Szczesny, Maitland-Niles, who's a really, really good young guy. Campbell, Giroud, Wilshere, El Ghazi, Landonio, Verde. Look at all these players they have. René Adelaide, who's doing well. Gnabry, who's 76. Magalhaen, who's 75. Chambers, 77. Sonogo, Wellington Silva, Jenkinson, Gabriel Paulista, Bielik, Ospina. Even if you wanted to put Flamini there, you could. Andrade. So many players. Holy shit, this is gonna be a fun season. We really don't have to make that many changes to the team, but I do want to bolster this team. There's one player that I want to bring in who's been with me since day one at PSG. He's a loyal guy. He loves being managed by me, and he told me that if I was leaving PSG, he wanted to come with me. So I'm going to bring him over. You'll see who it is in a second. We're going to try and make some transfers and stuff, but first, I want to show you guys who we might be offloading, because you might see a couple of these players that we had at PSG, David Silva and Nainggolan, and they're two players that I got rid of because I didn't really want them in the team. Plus, you're taking a look at some ages. Koscielny's 32. You got the likes of Mertesacker, 33. Cech, although he's 36, I think I'm going to keep him in the team because he's a beast, 87 rated. But you got some really old players now. Cazorla's like 33 now, so you got... Even Benzema is 30, but I still think we're going to have one season with Karim Benzema as striker because I want to test him out in this game. I still haven't had a chance to play with Benzema in this game, if you can believe that. And he's got 93 finishing, 84 accuracy, 84 long shots. He's still a beast, alright? But the team does need a little bit of work. On the face, on the outside, it looks like this team's really good. It's stacked, but it does need a little bit of work. So before we get into some signings, I'm going to show you guys who I've transfer listed and loan listed, because there's a lot of talent in this team. And unfortunately, not everyone's going to get a shot. Okay, taking a look at the players that are transfer listed at the moment, we have David Luiz, Raja Nainggolan. They're the two players we had at PSG. Both of them over 30 now. Nainggolan is 30. And they're both... I sold Nainggolan when Arsenal came in for him because I didn't want him in the team anymore. And I don't think I want him here anymore. But I think we're going to be using him as a bartering chip, so he could be becoming useful. Walcott, I'm a little hesitant about selling Walcott. I think if we get an offer, it'll have to be a big one. Otherwise, I'm not going to sell him because he's still 29. He could still do a job on that right-hand side. So even though he's transfer listed, he's not necessarily going to go. Koscielny, a big sale that would be, because he's been at Arsenal for a long time and he's one of the leading centre backs, but 32 years of age, we can make improvements here. We got Giroud, 31 years of age. We have Welbeck and Benzema, who are ahead of him in my opinion in the pecking order at this point in time. Debuchy, who's 32 years old, way past it in my opinion. Mertesacker's 33. Szczesny, we have Petr Cech and Ospina. We don't really need Szczesny anymore. Wellington Silva. I was considering loaning out Wellington Silva, but the fact that he's 25 years of age and I don't see him growing enough to get or warrant a first team place, that's why I've transfer listed him, to get that extra bit of money. And the same thing with Yaya Sonogo. I would like to keep him at the club, maybe loan him out, but I just don't feel like he's going to improve enough to become a world-class striker. So I've decided to transfer list him as well. Now, taking a look at some of the loans, we have Anwar El Ghazi, Gnabry, Andrade, all on the loan list, all right midfielders / right wingers. This team has a lot of wingers for some reason. I don't know why Arsene Wenger went crazy, but we're going to loan them out because they're all relatively young still. especially El Ghazi is 78 rated, so he could definitely become a pretty decent player for us maybe next season after Walcott hits that 30. Maybe we could use El Ghazi as our starting right midfielder. We have Christian Bielik, who's still 20 years of age. Chuba Akpom is someone that I probably considered selling, but because we had him in Bradford, if you guys remember in my FIFA 15 Bradford career mode, I sort of have a soft spot for this man. He's a fucking legend. So I've decided to keep him at Arsenal and loan him out. We have Iwobi. Now, this is a guy that I actually did want to sell, but it got to the point where I was like, 725,000 is just not worth the sale. He is 22 years of old at 65 rated, so I don't really see him doing much, but I've decided to loan him out as well, and that's pretty much it. As far as the rest of the players, they're staying. You could argue that maybe Santi Cazorla should be sold, but we could always use him in a trade at that 21.5 million value. That's a pretty decent value. So a lot of these players we're going to keep as backups and stuff like that because we have a lot of competitions to fight for. We're in the Europa League. Technically, I would like to win that as well while we're in it. We have 2 domestic cups and the league. So there's a lot of competitions here in England. And just taking a look at the team, man, it is stacked. When I first came here, I didn't realize Arsenal had this many players. Not just this many players, this many good players. Really, really solid players. So it's going to be interesting to see how we do and what we do with all these players, especially considering we have like 5 centre backs and a lot of midfield. I mean, look at 51 of our 52 squad is full. We only have room for 1 more player, so we have to sell some players. We have to get some players off the books. We have 21 midfielders, 15 defenders, 7 goalkeepers, and 8 attackers in this team. That's crazy. We need to offload some of these and then bring in some new players. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of... I mean, I've already figured out who I want to sign. I've already gone through this transfer window and seen how much I need to sign who. So I've already got people that I want to sign. But we're going to start off with the player that wanted to move with me. I want to get him here as soon as possible because he told me if I move, I want to move with you. So we're going to bring that man in. Let's take a look at who it is. Since day 1, Marco Verratti has been with me. Since day 1, he has told me, Gaffer, I want to move with you, mate. If you go anywhere. After the first season, where we had a hell of a season, he said, if we go anywhere, I want to go with you. Gardy, please, take me with you if you leave. And when there was rumors that I was leaving PSG, he was there telling me that wherever I go, he wants to join. So he's going to come to Arsenal. And as you can see, he's only got 1 year left on his contract, which means he's in between 28 and 37 million. But we know that PSG is probably not going to let them go for that much, especially considering I'm going in for him. So we're going to be doing a bit of a trade here. And we're going to be using, believe it or not, Raja Nainggolan, who's going to go back to PSG, this time without me. Poor Raja, mate. Wherever I go, he's not welcome anymore. I don't know why, but I just don't want Raja Nainggolan in this team. He's 30 years of old. 30 years of old. He's 30 years of age, 85 rated. Verratti's 25 years of age, 86 rated. I think this is a fantastic deal. Nainggolan, who's got a really, really high base value at 29 million, can come in very, very handy here in this trade. And we're going to try and get somewhere around the base value for Marco Verratti. So we're going to go for 18 million plus Raja Nainggolan. All up, I think that's like 37 million. So we're going to sort of creep our way up to that base value and try and save as much money as we can because there's a few big signings that I'd like to make. But first, I want to get Verratti into the club. Okay, PSG have come back saying that they would like 50 million on top of Raja Nainggolan. I'm definitely not paying that. I'm going to sort of go 25 million. They want 72 million all up for him. I'm going to go 25 million. When I did my little test, this is what they accepted, 25 million plus Raja Nainggolan. So fingers crossed I can get that deal again. I think that's an extremely good deal. Okay, we have a transfer offer for Wojciech Szczesny to go to Bournemouth for 8 million. And even though he's base 10.5 million, I'm actually just going to accept this because we have Ospina and Cech playing ahead of Wojciech Szczesny right now. So I want to just get rid of him, get that 8 million into the bank and some wages as well. Okay, PSG definitely aren't going for the 25 million, so I'm not getting the deal that I got last time, which is a shame. We're going to have to start pushing for a little bit more. I'm going to just creep up by increments of 5 million until they accept, because there's no way they actually want 50 million plus Raja Nainggolan. That's it. That's crazy. Okay, there goes Szczesny to Bournemouth. That's 7 million. But continuing on with our transfer business, PSG are not budging from this 50 million. I did not have this much trouble when I was trying to sign Verratti last time. I'm going to offer 35 million plus Raja Nainggolan. Just accept the PSG. Come on, you're getting Raja back. He's not that bad of a player. Finally, PSG accept 35 million plus Raja Nainggolan. It's a massive, massive deal, but bringing in Marco Verratti is going to be huge for this club. and our movement onwards. Now, you might be asking why Verratti would move to Arsenal, who's not in the Champions League this season. I'm telling you, I got the pull, mate. I got the pull. I'm a man manager, players love me, and PSG better just count their lucky stars that I'm not signing the entire squad, because I don't have enough money to do that. But one man that I want to bring in, and the only man that I'm going to bring in from PSG, is Marco Verratti. I don't want to weaken the club. I still do like PSG despite leaving them. It's like Pep Guardiola poaching from Barcelona. He's not going to sign the entire squad because he wouldn't want to weaken Barcelona. So, look, I'm just signing Verratti. That's all I wanted, and I'm going to let PSG do their thing in the Champions League. We're not direct rivals this season, so again, I'm going to let them do what they need to do with the rest of their players. Okay, here we go. Transfer offer for David Luiz. That's a big one. That is a big one. 31 years of age, 85 rating. It's 20 million, but it's just, for me, not enough. I do want to get rid of David Luiz, but I just don't feel like that's enough for David Luiz. So I'm going to go for a 25 million. It's not that much more than they're offering, and hopefully Juventus go in. I could see him moving to Juventus, you know. I could say that as an actual thing. They need to replace a few of their older centre-backs. Maybe Chiellini and Barzagli are retiring. They're quite old, both of them. Even Bonucci's quite old. So they're going to have to bring in some new centre-backs. And even though David Luiz isn't young, he's still got a few years in him. So 25 million, I think, is a fair counter-offer for David Luiz. The other person that's been offered for is Danny Welbeck. Now, Danny Welbeck, I think, will be a fantastic second striker to have. I think as far as second choice strikers, Danny Welbeck is very good. So I don't feel like I should be selling him, and for 17.5 million, that's an absolute joke. We do have Giroud, but I'd like to get rid of Giroud instead of Danny Welbeck. So I'm going to keep Danny Welbeck, and I think he's going to be a fantastic striker for us this season. And there it is, confirmation that Marco Verratti is now an Arsenal player. Nicely done, Marco. He joins London and he joins Arsenal, which is very good. He's going to find it difficult to adjust to things here, but now that we've signed Verratti, we can focus our shift into another signing. Now, where I'm really looking at right now is centre-backs, especially if David Luiz ends up moving. We have Mertesacker as a backup and also Gabriel, but I'd like to bring in an English centre-back. And trust me, you're not going to know who it is because it's a youth player and he's an absolute machine. The man I'm talking about, of course, is Joe Davis. And I'm saying, of course, like you guys should know, but you really shouldn't. He's from Leicester City. I'm 100% certain that he's just a youth player. I don't think he's a regenerator player because I don't think Leicester have any good English centre-backs. So I'm going to sign this guy, and as you can see, he has 97 slide tackling, 93 stand tackling, and he's a base value of 31 million. I'd like to bring him in because he's English, and I'd like to have some English players in the starting 11, and I think a perfect position to have an English player is in the centre-back position. I think it could be an absolute legend at Arsenal. And at 24 years of age, 84 overall, I think it's a fantastic signing. Now, as far as who I'm going to offer for Joe Davis, because as you can see, he's going to cost us quite a bit, 36 to 40 million. My thinking is we're going to go for Per Mertesacker. It took me a while to find him because there's so many players, but I think we're going to go for Per Mertesacker because 33 years of age at 81 overall isn't that good at all, and he's still got a base value of 10 million, so I think that's very good. We're going to offer, I'd say, 20 million on top of that. That comes us to around 30 million, and we can feel out what Leicester want. In my test, they wanted 35 million plus Per Mertesacker, so this is going to be interesting to see if we can do this and afford this. But 20 million plus Per Mertesacker is a pretty good deal, and we're going to be signing an absolute beast. Joe Davis, mate. Come on. You know you want to join Arsenal. Another area that I would like to maybe strengthen a little bit and also get rid of this player, despite me really liking him, is this left mid position. Santi Cazorla is a fantastic player, but he's not quick enough, and I prefer Ozil in the attacking mid position. He's 33 years old, but he's still 85 rated. He's still got a good value, and I do want to strengthen this. Now, I could play Chamberlain there. There's a few viable players that I could play, even the likes of Joel Campbell. I can play in that left mid position, but I want to bring in somebody else. I want to bring someone in world class. Someone who I don't see used that often. So I'm going to be trading Santi Cazorla for this player, and I want to be strengthening that left wing position. Again, I understand Cazorla's an absolute beast, but at this point in time, 4 seasons in, I think it's his time to go. And to be fair, he's going to be going back to Spain. The man that I would like to bring in is Yevgen Konoplyanka, 28 years of age, 85 rate. He's still got a few good years ahead of him, Yevgen. and he's not too expensive. I mean, 46 to 54 million, that is a bit expensive. I could actually see this move happening. I mean, if this was the situation that Arsenal were in a few seasons and Santi Cazorla wanted to move on, I could see him moving back to Spain to Sevilla. I think that's a good move. In my test that I did in the transfer window, they wanted 32 million plus Santi Cazorla, which is around that 55 million range. Just a bit below, but I'm going to be trying to save as much money as I can. I'm going to go 20 million plus Cazorla. That brings it to about 40 million, because Cazorla's base value is 21, so that's pretty good. And we'll feel out Sevilla, but this is now two players that we're going in for, Joe Davis and Yevgen Konoplyanka, which I think would strengthen this squad a lot. Okay, Borussia Dortmund come back and offer 27.5 million for Theo Walcott. I'm just going to bump it up by 10 million, 37.5 for Theo, and you got him. We've got plenty of decent replacements if Walcott goes. We won't even have to sign anyone because we have Campbell and Oxlade-Chamberlain that could just slot into that right mid position with ease. We wouldn't even have to sign anyone. So that's just free money if Dortmund want him and if Theo's willing to move. Juventus are not budging from this 20 million, and I'm inclined to just agree to this, to be honest. If David Luiz goes and we're trading Per Mertesacker for Joe Davis, that'll leave us with Koscielny, Joe Davis, and Gabriel. Plus we have that Magellan guy. So we'll have a lot of centre backs. Sorry, David, another player that I just don't want in my team anymore. Sevilla say that they want 49 million. Why are teams asking so much this time around? 67 million all up. I'm going to bump it up by 8 million and see what they say. 28 million plus Santi Cazorla. Hopefully they accept somewhere around 35. Again, I want to save as much money as possible because, as you can see, we're getting a bit strapped for cash. If the David Luiz deal goes through, that'll be good. Extra bit of money, but yeah, we need to make some money. We need more players to sell. I mean, come on. Why isn't anybody coming in for my players? And let's just say that they would like 46 million added on to Joe Davis. Again, more than what they asked last time when I was doing my little test. It was 35 million, so I'm going to bump this up also to 28 million, see what Leicester say to that. I really do want Joe Davis in this team. I think he could be like a proper Arsenal legend in the future. Okay, Borussia Dortmund come back with a 32 million offer for Theo Walcott, and considering we're going to need a bit of cash, a bit more than I expected, I'm going to accept this, and that's going to bring us up to 83 million if Theo is willing to move to Germany. I think that's a big if. It feels like the English players are less likely to move to these foreign countries. So if Walcott wants to go, he can go. But at the same time, if he doesn't go, it's not that big of a deal. Okay, David Luiz has sold to Juventus. That's 17 million added on. And to my surprise, both Sevilla and Leicester City have accepted the 28 million plus the player, which is less than what I did in my test, both times. In my test, Joe Davis cost 35 million plus Mertesacker, and Yevgen Konoplyanka costs 32 million plus plus Santi Cazorla. So we're saving a bit of money, which is surprising because I thought we'd have to spend more. And we're just going to give these guys what they want: 250k a week, 2 years, crucial first team player, because he will be playing left wing pretty much every single game, as far as I can see, other than maybe cups. And Joe Davis, a huge signing. He's going to want a big increase in his wages, over double what he's making for Leicester. Surely he's going to join Arsenal. And there you go, 2 signings are made. Yevgen Konoplyanka from Sevilla, with Santi Cazorla going the other way. Joe Davis from Leicester, with Per Mertesacker going the other way. So big deals here. And I think we've made 2 very good signings there. Okay, we have a transfer offer for Wellington Silva from Everton. Again, a player that I'm looking to sell. A player that I was considering loaning, but we have so many right midfielders. I think we're just going to let this guy go. 6 million, I'm happy with that. Everton are getting a very good player. In-game, Wellington Silva's a freak, but I just have too many wingers, and he's just not up there on the totem pole. And Theo Walcott has been sold to Borussia Dortmund. Speaking of right midfielders, 32 million, which means we got 27 million. So we're making a bit of money here. And we're probably going to have Joel Campbell or Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain just slot into that right midfield position. I think both of them are good enough to play in that position in the Europa League, in the Premier League. I think they're both quality right midfielders, so that's just free money. We don't have to sign anybody in that position now. Wellington Silva has moved to Everton, which means another 5 million has been added on. And we now enter August, and I think I'm going to end the episode here. Pretty weird place to end it. I was going to go all the way to the start of the season, but I decided to just end it here because I want to give you guys a chance to get your inputs in the comment section below and tell me who you think we should sign, and does this squad need improving at this point. If you take a look at it, we have Benzema up front, Ozil behind him, Konoplyanka on the left, Chamberlain on the right, Pjanic and Verratti in the midfield, which is, I think, a great combination, with Gibbs, Davis, Koscielny, and Bellerin as a back four, Petr Cech in between the sticks. Now, the one position I think that we might improve is Koscielny and the centre-back position, the other centre-back position. But I don't know, do you guys want me to keep Koscielny? He's still got good stats, but he's 32 years of age. As you can see, 79 acceleration, 78 sprint speed. Still pretty good. His tackling stats, still very good. So do you think we need to improve the centre-back position? Again, as well, the right-back position, I like Bellerin. He's still very young, and I think he could improve a lot. He's got very good stats, but do you think we need a better right-back? Same thing with the left-back position. I like Kieran Gibbs. Good stats. His tackling stats are actually a lot better than I thought they'd be. 28 years of age, 81 overall. Is he good enough to play left back for us for this season? Considering we're not in the Champions League, is this team just good enough for this season? Of course, we'll make improvements next season. Take a look at the bench. It's absolutely stacked. Welbeck, Campbell, Ramsey, Coquelin, Monreal, Gabriel, and Ospina. Then you take a look at the reserves. The first 4 rows of reserves is just absolutely stacked. I mean, this team is really, really good. Hopefully we can offload a few more players in the next episode. You know, the likes of maybe someone like Giroud. I'd like to get rid of Giroud. Debussy is another player I'd like to get rid of. So even maybe Chambers or Jenkinson, get them out of the way as well. One or the other, that would be. But do you think this team needs improving other than some of the sales and stuff like that? Because there is a lot of dead wood in the team. Do you think we need to improve the first 11? Because I think that looks pretty good. I'd be happy if you guys were happy with that. But we do have some money to play around with. And there might be some improving. Petr Cech I want to keep for this season at least. While we have him, I'd like to play him because he's a very good goalkeeper. Taking a look at his stats, he's so good. And in-game, I feel like he's one of the better goalkeepers in this game. Very reliable. So other than that, guys, of course, take to the comment section below and let me know who you think we should sign. I like the look of the team as it is, but I'm always open to suggestions, so get it in the comment section, and it could be your signing that we make in the next episode, which will be coming out not on the weekend, next week, because I want to give you guys time to get your comments in, and I want to give you guys time to sort of watch this episode and digest it and all that, and then get into the new career mode with Arsenal. My goodness gracious, it was a hell of a choice to come to Arsenal. It's a team that really did need to get back in the Champions League. The fact that they didn't qualify last season was a big reason why I joined here. I want to get them back into the Champions League. I want to get them back fighting for the Premier League. We did our best in France. We did everything we could in France with PSG. Now I want to come to England and prove myself. So here we are. That's the team that we have. I think that the signings that we made were very good in Verratti, Konoplyanka, and Joe Davis. I think they were very, very good signings, and they look very good in this team right now. If you did enjoy this episode, guys, make sure you smash 150 likes for the first episode of the Arsenal Career Mode. I guess technically the first episode of the Arsenal Career Mode, despite us being 4 seasons in. Again, down in the comment section below, let me know what exactly we should do with this team. Who do you think we need to improve? And who you think we should keep? But that's it from me, guys. I'm gonna get up out of here. I will see you guys in the next one very soon. Keep it real.